You have reached Red Steele's Toy Collector Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing G.I. Joe Classified. G.I. Joe Classified Series Duke. But before I get to the actual review, let's walk over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front here, the blister tray with both the figure and all his accessories inside. Up in the corner, you have the 4+, which is the age requirement for this figure. Then over here, you have the G.I. Joe logo. Below that, it says Duke. And over here, you have an old school illustration of Duke. On the back of the card here, at the very top, again, you have the G.I. Joe logo. Then over here, a text spec file. Over here it says Duke. Over here again, you have a picture of Duke. And below that, it says G.I. Joe. Then over here, you have his real name, Conrad S. Hauser. And below that, role, First Sergeant. Primary specialty, Airborne Infantryman. Second specialty, Artillery Small Arms Armor. Birthplace, St. Louis, Missouri. Then over here it says, graduated top of his class at Airborne School. After running 4 different Special Forces schools, he turned down a commission to instead serve as acting first sergeant of G.I. Joe. Then over here you have a cross-sell of all the other available figures. G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Cardback Duke. Duke was released on March 23rd, 2024 with the suggested retail price of $24.99, and he's available at all major retailers. Duke was released along with the other G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Cardback figures, Scarlet and Recondo. Duke has multiple points of articulation for dynamic posability. His accessories include his helmet, binoculars, assault pack, 2 submachine guns, pistol, combat knife, 2 interchangeable hands, and a stand. Duke stands 6 inches tall, and he is meant for fans ages 4 and up. Now that I have Duke on my display table, I just want to go over some of his display features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his display stand. This display stand has some nice molded detail here. It has a G.I. Joe logo right here. And the cool thing about this display stand, it only comes with the retro cardback figures. For some reason, they have not included these stands with the mainline G.I. Joe Classified Series figures, which is a little disappointing because a lot of those figures do have a difficulty standing on their own. But in order to put Duke on his display stand, you get a couple pegs right there. Bottom of his feet, you got a couple portholes. Just go and you line up those pegs and those portholes together, and just plug them in just like that. And now you have Duke on his display stand. Really cool play feature, and I'm glad these stands now come with the retro cardback figures. And I'm aiming more towards picking up these figures because the retro cardback figures are more in line with the original G.I. Joe cartoon series from the 80s. And that's what I tend to more lean towards. I like the Classified Series figures, but I'm not really into some of the updated looks for some of the characters. I like the retro look. I mean, I have Destro, Baroness so far, Recondo, Scarlet, Lady J. I just haven't reviewed them yet, but I'll get to those later on. But Duke's the first one I want to start with, the retro cardback series so far. The next accessory I want to go ahead and bring in are his interchangeable fists. And I don't know if you can see the detail with these fists, but you get a lot of vein detail, knuckle detail, finger detail, even some fingernail detail. And you can see a little bit of palm detail on the bottom of the fist. Very nicely done. Or to switch out the interchangeable hands, you just pop out the old fist, a little porthole at the end of the wrist, back of the hand, you have a little peg. In order to put it back in, you just pop it right in that little porthole, and now you have Duke with his interchangeable hand. Really nice play feature. I mean, with G.I. Joe figures, you don't really need the interchangeable hands, but it's a nice little extra bonus added to these figures. And you know, Duke has a closed fist, so you can punch whoever needs to punch. I mean, with the open hand, you could arm them with weapons, and that's why I prefer having my G.I. Joe Classified series with more of the open hands. But the next accessory I'm going to talk about is his combat knife. This combat knife has a lot of great mold and paint detail on it. blade here is painted out of a metallic silver paint, and it looks like it has little metallic speckles in there. So if you shine it to the light, certain angles, you can see a little bit of a luster. You even got mold detail with the blade sharpened, really nicely done. And the blade is sharp, so it can cause a little bit of damage, but it's the plastic soft enough so that if a kid does, want to poke another kid with it, I mean, it does hurt. So I wouldn't really recommend this for a child. But it's made out of rubbery plastic, so it does bend a little bit. It has a little bit of give. And there's also some handle detail where the handle here has got like a brown paint detail. At the very end, it's got a gold paint detail. You could arm Duke with this combat knife by just slipping it right into his fist, just like that. Very nice accessory. You can also store it right on this little holster on his boot right here, which I'm going to do right now. Very cool, and that's another cool thing I like about these G.I. Joe Classified Series figures. A lot of these figures have the capability of storing their weapons right on them with the holsters and holders and stuff like that. Because the next accessory I'm going to bring in is his combat pack, or his backpack, survival pack, whatever you want to call it. You get this molded detail right here with the shovel, and the shovel is part of the backpack. And I think in the GIJoe.com website, they call this the assault pack. But at the top of the pack right here, you see 2 canteens. Those were also molded on too. So the permanent parts of the assault pack. And if you look at it really closely, there's a lot of great detail, a lot of great molded detail, a lot of fabric detail, a lot of zipper detail, a lot of strap detail. You got some pockets here. Very nicely done. At the back of this assault pack, you got a little peg right there. When you turn Duke around, you get this bandolier right here with a hole in it, and you got a hole in his back. You gotta kind of line them up together. You take that peg from that assault pack, and just plug it in just like that. And now you have Duke armed with his assault pack. Really nicely done accessory, and it was an accessory that came with the original Duke from the 80s when it was 3 3/4. Really nicely done. And there's a lot of throwbacks with a lot of these figures. Another throwback is because with his binoculars again. Binoculars have a strap, and it's kind of like a molded plastic, so it's in a fixed position, so it looks kind of awkward. It doesn't sit well when you have the bandolier here. It kind of like sits out a little bit. Still, it's a cool accessory, and if you kind of like swing it off to the side, it works that way too. Maybe it's meant to swing off to the side like that too. Very nice, very nicely done. The next accessory I'm going to bring in is his pistol. And you can arm Duke with his pistol, slide it right into his fist just like that. Very cool. Or if you want to store it, you can put it right into this holster on his thigh right here. Just like that. Really cool. I love that G.I. Joe Classified Series has that capability of doing that. It's just so cool being able to store your weapons on the actual figure. Next accessory I'm going to bring in is his trademark helmet. This helmet does come with a clear visor that's molded out of a clear plastic. Just pop that right on top of Duke's head. Just like that. And you can bring the visor down, you still see the whites of his eyes. It's really nicely done. Really cool figure. Next accessory I'm going to bring out is his trademark assault rifle or his submachine gun. And you just put that right into his fist, just like that. And he does have a trigger finger, but when you put the finger in the trigger, it kind of brings the gun out like that a little bit. A little bit awkward. So I like kind of like bringing them in just like that. Very nicely done. And he has 2 submachine guns. He has this one right here too. And just slide that right into his fist. So nicely done. These G.I. Joe Classified figures just blow me away. For all the points of articulation, I mean, you got ankle, you got boot, and double jointed knee, you got the hip, thigh, you got like the swivel of the waist, butterfly, shoulder, elbow, wrist, just the ball socket joint for the head. It's so well done. If you guys found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel, and while you're there, click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Steele's Awesome Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.